Alright, guys, what is today? Today is Wednesday, I believe. I'm starting to lose track of days. It's Wednesday, August 5th. I woke up not too long ago. It is day 4. As you can see, one of my old wiring harnesses I've decided to tear into and redo since the engine's out. So I've got power wire for switches, this amp wire for my sound system, miscellaneous wires, white wires for fog lights, the blue ones for the amps on, off, switch power for it. Black is the Crowd 2 solenoid power wire, and then this red wire here, if I remember correctly, I had it the other day. I don't remember at this point, but I'd have to follow it to remember it again. That one's 2-step. So, all the wiring for the piggyback is done yesterday. I finished it. I know I keep saying I'm going to finish the wiring today. I'm going to finish the wiring today. The thing about wiring is that it's very tedious and you have to pay attention. Really. There's a lot of detail that can go into it. All the things I'm doing, everything's being soldered and heat shrinked, so I'm gonna have to also make a new mount for the disc 2, mount it better. I've been meaning to do that. I just haven't gotten to it, so I'll finally do that. Keys. Keys would be nice. So, power locks right now. As you can see, the interior is a little bit of a mess for me. I've been wiring gauges in here. I've got to finish running these gauges. I got 2 wires to run through a firewall before I can finish up and finalize all the wiring in the engine bay, because that's a critical part. Took the wheel bearings off yesterday morning to go down to work and press them. Well, lo and behold, the bearing decided to come apart on me. So I had bearings overnighted. I'll be going in to get that today. I'd have a lot more done, except yesterday I spent probably 3 to 4 hours chasing rabbit holes or chasing leads for welding shops to weld the intercooler piping, so that ate a lot of my time. I wasn't happy about that. But I finally found somebody around 4 o'clock, and so I should have those done. I'll pick them up Thursday night. They'll be done then. And then today, we're really gonna finish the wiring as much as I can. I should put it that way instead. I know I need to start the plumbing before I can put the access cover back on and finish that section area, and then we'll run a fuel line and bend the line as needed. It's really a straight shot, really. That's where we end today. Hopefully I can assemble the engine and trans together and make the scatter shield. So the things on the engine that need to be done is that there's still no rear main seal in it, so I have to put the rear main seal in first. Then I got to put the clutch on, and then I can mate the engine and trans together. And then from there, excuse me. I can mock up the scatter shield, which should be fairly easy. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mark it, slit it, bend it, and weld it back, and then cut it in a certain spot so that's a two-piece design to make install easier. The other thing I started to remember and looked at is that one of the coolant fans has 4 wires on it. Reason being is for air conditioning and high speed. May have to reuse that fan. Hopefully there's enough room. If not, I'm gonna have to think of something. And then I really also have to focus on the intercooler, so you can kind of guess at this point. I have a lot of things I'm being pulled to here and there, so we'll finish it. That's where we stand today. Hopefully I'll make a lot of progress today, because I really need to get this done and I'm running out of time. Okay, let's get to it.
Alright guys, it's about 8 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. Mountain Standard Time, I mean by Colorado, so. This is what I spent my whole evening on. As you can see, I've ran, this is a factory harness. These, I've made harnesses, you can see where I've ran them. Let me get a light here. My light's been charging all evening because I drained it on accident and didn't remember. So you can see where I've ran everything. I'm trying to make this as stealthy as possible by making these wire looms. Like I said, I spent most of my evening on this, getting all these, and then as well as putting this LED here. There used to be an LED there from another piggyback, but that one I'm gonna get rid of. But that's the new LED for the methanol injection. The blue switch I had for backlighting on a gauge, and it became vacant, so I used that for switch power for the methanol injection. And then as you can see where I put the boost controller, the gauges that I got, I had to replace the volt gauge because that one was no good anymore. Air fuel ratio and then fuel pressure, it's on that side. These are actually, the air fuel pressure and fuel pressure were both actually swapped. So originally the fuel pressure was on the right side of the cluster and then air fuel was on the left side. But I had to swap it due to the length of the wires and trying to save time. Didn't really feel like lengthening 3 or 4 wires, so but I took the seat out so I could do the E-manage piggyback. I'll have to put it back in tonight, but I may leave it out for tuning purposes so I can get in, change some jumpers in the E-manage if I need to for starting runs. Because one of the jumpers I'm a little skeptical about, because the wording of it is kind of it's not very clear. So jumper 8 says 1-2 for 5-volt output, and then 2-3 for 12-volt output. So I switched it to 2-3 because it was 1-2. I did get the wheel bearings. They came in late this evening around 3-4 o'clock, so I put the hubs in and the ARP studs, wheel studs. Tonight, I mentioned earlier this morning I was going to, if I remember correctly, fix this wiring loom that I had previously here from a different job that I did. I've still got wired this relay for the methanol, but I'll do that with the engine in because the wire lengths are kind of questionable because I don't know where everything's going to sit quite yet. I'm going to finish this loom. I know I said I was going to start the plumbing today, but this wiring has taken up a lot of my time. It's been so tedious. I My back's been killing me a little bit this evening because I've been laying underneath the dash on the racing seat, which is not adjustable forward or backwards or up or down. It's a fixed back seat, so, and it's side mounted brackets on it. So positioned in only one spot, cannot be moved unless I take side brackets off and move it physically that way, but I don't really want to do that. So I'm gonna finish the wiring tonight. I've got 95% of it done. There's a few things that I don't know of yet, so I'm gonna leave them alone until I do. Tomorrow we'll start the plumbing. I'll put the wheel hubs back on first thing in the morning, then we'll do the plumbing. And then from there, we'll put the transit onto the engine and make the scatter shield real quick. And from there, we'll drop the engine in. And hopefully we'll hear it start tomorrow night or Friday morning. But I still have the intercooler to do as well, so it might be Friday, maybe Saturday. So this is taking a little bit more time only because of the wiring. Wiring is very tedious. I've had so many wires to run, it's not even funny. You can point and laugh at me all you want, but if you've done wiring before, you'll know. You'll know what I'm talking about. So that's pretty much where I stand tonight. I'm going to finish this, and then I'm going to clean up my tools and then lock it down for the night. And tomorrow I'll do what I can. I've got to go back up to Loveland, pick up the intercooler pipes I had welded, and then from there hopefully we can put the intercooler on. But that's where we stand. Alright, it is morning of August 6th. It's a Thursday. It is 8:27 in the morning, Colorado Standard Time. I was up till, I'm going to say 11 o'clock last night, finishing wiring, so I don't have to do any more today. There is a few loose ends, but like for the dual intake temp gauge, that one, I don't know where those are going to end up yet, or if they're long or too short. Those I'll worry when I get the intercooler on, the pipes in. Another loose ends are for this cryogenic solenoid. I don't know where those are going to end up, so I've just placed them off to the side. I'll lengthen them if I need to. I guess I'm not sure where that solenoid is going to end up. The methanol injection solenoid, I don't know where that's going to end up, so I'm leaving it as is right now until I know where the pressure switch is going to go. That'll activate the solenoid. There used to be a bunch of wires in this loom, but there was 4 of them. There was an amp wire, there was a fog light wire, there was a I'm having a brain fart this morning. I just woke up. So fog light, subwoofer control, turn the amp on, switch power. One was an RPM, and another one was for the cryogenics. There we go. So, as you can see, all the wires that used to be in this loom are in this one now. I've ran it. I had to tear it back apart because I forgot to put the 2-step wire through it. That was a lot of fun. And then I ran the wires that went to oil pressure gauge and also for the oil temp gauge. Now I've gone into this loom. So any loose stray wires I'm trying to round up and put in looms. That's about what I'm trying to do. So nothing's really exposed. I'm sorry about the sun.
Let's open her up. It is a bright morning, especially when your house faces to the east. Okay. So, like I've mentioned, the start of, what is it? Today is day 5. I finished a lot of wiring down in here. I've showed this, I believe, already. My memory's a little fuzzy this morning. But the piggyback system's all in. I just gotta find a way to mount. I think my best option, since I may have to take it out and change the jumpers here and there, I might just put 2 Velcro straps, run it underneath the carpet and hold it that way. So if I need to take it out, I can do it easily instead of trying to undo bolts or anything. It'll still stay secure and won't move around very much, but here's the harness connector for the boost control. There's all the wires under here. And then I've got to reattach some of the gauges. Some of the double-sided 3M tape didn't stick very well, so I'm going to have to resit the screws and the boost controller. So give you an idea of what this is going to look like from the driver's seat here. So you're looking right, looking left, and then you have 2 gauges down here. So I'm going to try to button everything up in here as part of today, but first I'm going to put the hose back on. So, hubs first, I'll tighten up the interior, and we'll start running fuel line. I've got some 8AN hard in the old aluminum anodized line, and then the rest of it will be braided stainless steel line. So that's where we stand. Once I get I think what I'm going to do once after I get all the fuel lines plumbed, I'm going to work on getting the front crash bumper out and modified, and also I got stainless steel clutch line, so I'm going to do that while I can. So that is where we stand. So let's get to it.
Okay guys, it's somewhere in the afternoon hours. Still day 5. I've already started the plumbing. I did put the hubs back on this morning like I said I would. The plumbing is actually going fairly quickly. So you can see I have up at the fuel pump outlet, I have an adapter from this factory outlet to adapt it to a 8AN fuel line. And then I got these special adapters because Earl's comes close, but they don't seal correctly. So these adapters I believe I got from Extreme PSI or a different place. I'd have to double check. But they're out there. It's like $5 a piece. You really need 3 of them. I got 2, but I got another way to adapt the factory fuel line for the return. Anyway, so I'm okay. Otherwise I would do it, but I'm in a bit of a spot and this has to be running in 2 days, so there's no way I'm overnighting a $5 part. I could, but it's just not worth it to me. So there's the line comes this way, and then you can see it makes a U. I had to do that because I needed another 180 degree fitting, but unfortunately I only ordered one, and that's on the fuel rail. So as long as it's not kinked and it's smooth, straight bend, I'll be okay. And then you can see how I've mounted the fuel filter. This is actually the same location where the factory fuel filter sits, which is that, and then that's the fuel pressure regulator. So basically this is like a hybrid returnless fuel system. It has a return, but it's not at the fuel rail. It's down here at the fuel filter. So I've made a bracket for this hanger here to fit correctly, to have it sit where it is. All this is going to be pretty much hidden underneath the car unless you look under it. So this is where I stand. I'm getting ready to run the hard line so I can see where this fitting is going to end up, or where the line's going to run. So I know I'm running the line this way along the fuel, along the rail with all these others, but as of right now, that's where I stand. I'll give another update here pretty soon. Okay guys, I've ran the hard line, as you can see here. I've made a bracket to go from this bolt to hold this to keep it more stable. I already had one down here, but I decided it wasn't enough. I got a union here, a nut and sleeve, and I did flare the inside of that one. And then this is what I was talking about, this special fitting that is custom made. So it's a real nice fitting from what I can tell. I haven't tried them like actually physically used them yet, but I'll get my cookie here. And then you can see where I've ran the line. There's just enough space in there. I'm going to put a rubber hose on that to help insulate it and keep anything from rubbing on it. Alright, back under. So, you can see where it came out down here. And then it's going to run this way. And then I'll have 3 mounts from here to these insulated clamps. This one you can see I've already flared. What that does is that allows a good tight seal. So when you're flaring a hardline, make sure you put the nut on first, then the sleeve, and then do your flaring, so that way it ends up like this here. So you can kind of see where the rest of the line's going to go, really. So for a flaring tool, that's my flaring tool. You'll note one side has a bevel on it, and then the other side does not. That is the difference. So you got to know what side it is. So, and then you'll take this, the press, so basically you'll just sit this down this way and then turn it. They give you a little handle too with it. So that's how I'm doing that so far, and that's where we are with the fuel line. It's about 230-ish, 235 right now, so we're hauling along pretty good on the lines. I keep posted.